Lose again to the fucking Padres 7-1. And too many fundamental mistakes at this game. And you can follow me at Rob Iman at twitter.com or on Facebook. And too many fundamental mistakes at this game. And you can follow me at Rob Iman at twitter.com or on Facebook. And man, just too many mistakes in this game. Not good. Not good at all today. It was. You can't win when you really can't win when you strand 8 base runners in a game. That is never a recipe for success. The fundamental mistakes have continued to haunt them this season. It's been terrible. At some point, I think it might be time to give Chris Shaw an audition. It's just not going well. They just need to do something to right the ship at some point. I don't know what they need to do, but it's 1 run on 9 fucking hits. You're supposed to get more than 1 fucking run on 9 hits. Posey was 2 for 4 in this game. Span 3 for 4. Too many missed opportunities. And Samardzija got torched by the long ball today. 2 home runs. They were both 3-run homers, and that was the difference maker. The bullpen was good today. But former Giant Hector Sanchez has fucking tortured us in this series. And I'm not looking forward to seeing him in a week or so when we play them back in San Diego, back at home in a 4-game series coming up next weekend. And next week I will be on the road, so there might be shows, there may not be at some point, but I'm going to be out of town starting Thursday for 10 days, so it will be live on location. So we'll be live from the Central Coast for a week and then off to the Southern California. On Southern California, shows may be sporadic. I might go on hiatus. Who knows what's going to happen with that? Yeah, that's just. And then Eduardo Nunez, when they debated that catch, they charged Eduardo Nunez with an error for that dropped foul ball. And I don't know if that should have been counted as an error or not. But I think at some point here, probably in the next week or so, especially if Brandon Belt has to go on the disabled list, it might be time to summons Chris Shaw and give Chris Shaw a look at left field at some point. And I like what Rich Aurilia said today, that there at no time this season the Giants have been good, but this team reeks. But I don't think blowing up the roster, maybe not yet, but if things don't turn around maybe next season, you do hold a fire sale. And this could be the worst team in franchise history as in terms of record. But it's not time yet to tear it down to the bolts. Maybe try 1 more year. Then it makes it easier to clean house if things don't turn around next season. But at some time during the next series, I would not be surprised if Chris Shaw is called up and they give Chris Shaw a look. There's just too many fundamental mistakes they're making right now. This is why they're the second worst team in baseball right now. And this is frustrating. All right, let's go to scores from around the league. The Yankees win game one of the doubleheader, 3-0. Your winning pitcher was CC Sabathia. Your losing pitcher was Rick Porcello. The Tigers beat the Blue Jays 6-5. Your winning pitcher was Warwick Saupold. Your losing pitcher was Jeff Beliveau. Ryan Goins went 2 for 2 in this game for the Blue Jays. Not a good outing for Marco Estrada, 4 earned runs and 3 2/3 innings pitched. Anibal Sanchez, not that much better, 5 earned runs and 6 innings pitched. The Nationals beat the Reds 14-4. Your winning pitcher was Tanner Rourke. Your losing pitcher was Homer Bailey. Wilmer Defoe, 3 runs for 3 for 5. Daniel Murphy, 3 for 4. Adam Lynn, 3 for 5. Chris Heisey, 3 for 5 for the Nationals. Homer Bailey, 4 innings pitched, 8 earned runs allowed. His ERA has ballooned to 10.13. Drew Storen, not a good day, 3 earned runs and 1 inning pitched. Tony Cingrani, 2 earned runs and 1 inning pitched, so not a good day for the Reds bullpen. And speaking of the Nationals, we have a trade to announce. The Nationals made a trade with the team across the bay, the Oakland A's. They have traded 3 prospects for Sean Doolittle and they traded today for Ryan Madsen and Sean Doolittle. And what Washington gave up was what Oakland got back was Blake Trainin, Sheldon Noose, and Jesus Luzardo from the Nationals. And this was a good trade by Washington. They needed bullpen help. They didn't give up too much for Madsen and Doolittle, so good trade by the Nationals for that. And that should help to bolster their struggling bullpen. And I don't think they're done making trades at this point, so we'll see. All right. The Rockies clobbered the Mets 13-4. Your winning pitcher was Jeff Hoffman. Your losing pitcher was Steven Matz. Travis LeMahieu went 4 for 6. So did Matt Reynolds. And Matz only went 1 inning today and allowed 7 earned runs. Bullpen was not that much better either. Fernando Salas allowed 2 earned runs and 2 innings pitched. Chase and Bradford the same, and so for Neil Ramirez, former Giant, who's now become trash for the Mets bullpen. And the LA Dodgers beat the Marlins 3-2, and now their winning streak is up to 9 games. Rich Hill was your winning pitcher. Your losing pitcher was Chris O'Grady. Justin Turner went 2 for 3 in this game with a home run. This was one of the better outings for Rich Hill this season. The Cubs blanked the Orioles 8-0, and this was Jose Quintana's first start as a Cub. And Ubaldo Jimenez was the losing pitcher. Not a bad outing. 12 strikeouts, 7 scoreless innings for Quintana in his first start in the north side of Chicago. Chris Bryant 3 for 4, Wilson Contreras 4 for 5, and Bryant had a home run in this game. Ubaldo Jimenez did not get out of the 4th inning, allowing 6 earned runs in 3 2/3 innings pitched. Darren O'Day 2 earned runs in 1 inning pitched. The Braves beat the Diamondbacks 7-1. Jaime Garcia was your winning pitcher. Your losing pitcher was Zach Godley. Paul Goldschmidt went 2 for 3. For Atlanta, Brandon Phillips went 3 for 3. As the Braves sweep the D-backs in the series. And Garcia looked great, and then we'll talk about Garcia a little bit later when I get to the Brewers. The Pirates beat the Cardinals 4-3. Your winning pitcher was Wade LeBlanc. Your losing pitcher was Brett Cecil. Magneuris Sierra went 4 for 4 today for the Cardinals. And Cecil blew the game out of the bullpen. That was his 5th blown save of the season, allowing 2 earned runs in 2/3 innings pitched. The Mariners beat the White Sox 7-6 in a series sweep. Your winning pitcher was Nick Vincent. Your losing pitcher was Chris Beck. And not a good day for Andrew Moore. 5 earned runs and 3 innings pitched. For him, and Holland not that much better. 5 2/3, 6 runs, 5 earned. The Phillies beat the Brewers 5-2. Your winning pitcher was Jeremy Hellickson. Your losing pitcher was Rob Scahill. And Scahill allowed 3 earned runs without recording an out. Not a good outing for him today. And speaking of the Brewers, today they are the buyers or sellers team. And I think the Brewers will be buyers at the deadline. They will probably look for starting pitching at the deadline. And we'll see what starters they can get. I don't think they'll be able to land a Sonny Gray or a Julio Teheran this season. But there's some other options out there that might be good options that That could be interesting for the Brewers. They can always look to add. There's Jaime Garcia would be an interesting trade candidate for the Brewers. There's always another cheap option might be Francisco Liriano, who's not had the best of years for the Blue Jays, but could be a viable option. Could be a viable option for the Padres. And another option might be Trevor Cahill. That could be another option for the Brewers. We'll see what happens with that. Trevor Cahill's another option. And bullpen options might be Joe Smith. He might come real cheap for the Brewers. They've just signed Jenmar Gomez just the other day to a minor league contract. So we'll see what happens with the. But I think the Brewers are definitely going to buy. It's just what are they going to be willing to give up? Maybe Yu Darvish could be an option if he becomes available by the Rangers. And he could be a good pitcher to maybe counter the Cubs. Or Jaime Garcia. I think Jaime Garcia would be the best fit for the Brewers, though. He's had some experience and a lot of experience in the NL Central in his days as a Cardinal, and he's owned the Brewers. So the old saying, "If you can't beat them, join them," might be a good idea for the Brewers with Garcia. And I think Garcia would be a good fit in Milwaukee, even though it's Miller Park. I think he can handle Miller Park pretty well. But we'll see what happens. As Milwaukee's been one of the better surprises this year in baseball, and right now with them surprisingly being in first, they're definitely going to buy before the deadline. And the Astros beat the Twins 5-3. Your winning pitcher was Mike Fiers. Your losing pitcher was Kirk Gibson. Former Giant Nori Aoki went 2 for 3 in this game. And the Royals beat the Rangers 4-3. Your winning pitcher was Kelvin Herrera. Your losing pitcher was Jason Grilli. Alcides Escobar went 3 for 4 for the Royals today. And they ruined another good start by Darvish. And the closing issues, closer monkey, and this closing issue still rear its ugly head with the Rangers, even with Jason Grilli now on the team. So that has not gone away yet for the Rangers. The Angels beat the Rays 4-3. Your winning pitcher was David Hernandez. Your losing pitcher was Jumbo Diaz. Evan Longoria went 3 for 4 for the Rays today, and Andrelton Simmons went 3 for 4 for the Angels today. And on the other side of the bay, the A's sweep the Indians 7-3. Your winning pitcher was Sean Manaea. Your losing pitcher was Trevor Bauer. Francisco Lindor went 4 for 4 for Cleveland. Matt Joyce went 3 for 5 for Oakland. And Bauer allowed 4 earned runs and only pitched 2/3 of an inning for the Indians. Cody Allen allowed 2 more earned runs. And now the Indians will cross the Bay Bridge tomorrow to play the Giants in a 3-game series coming up. And your probables for that series will be Monday will be Josh Tomlin against Matt Moore. Tuesday, your probables will be Mike Clevenger against Ty Block. And Wednesday's game, there'll be no show Wednesday due to it being a weekday afternoon game, will be Carlos Carrasco against Matt Cain. So hopefully we can get at least something in this series so we don't get fucking swept in this next series. So we'll see what happens with that. Things got to get better at some time. They really do. And down on the farm today, the River Cats beat the Bees in a slugfest 14-11. Your winning pitcher was DJ Snelton. Your losing pitcher was Damian Magnifico. Jose Flores, 4 earned runs and 4 innings pitched. Dustin Knight, 3 earned runs and 2 innings pitched. And Derek Law has looked a lot better, got his 4th save, and I think I wouldn't be surprised if Derek Law rejoins the Giants tomorrow. Chris Shaw went 2 for 4. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Chris Shaw get called up sometime during the next series, and they give him an audition at left field with Austin Slater likely gone for the season. So I hope we see Chris Shaw at some point. This week, the River Cats will play the El Paso Chihuahuas. And then later this week, they will play the Round Rock Express. Well, this is just their home schedule. Then they go on the road. Yeah, they will play the El Paso Chihuahuas, and then they will go on the road to Tacoma to play the Rainiers. And that's this week for the River Cats. And now your standings for this week. Now let's get your standings up. And now your standings. The Red Sox hold a 2.5 game lead over the Yankees and Rays, who are both 2.5 games back and are tied at the wild card as of right now. The Indians hold a 1.5 game lead over the Twins at 47-43. In the AL West, the Astros still hold a commanding lead. The Nationals hold a 9-game lead over the Braves, and now the Braves are at 500 after today's win at 45-45. In the Central, the Brewers hold a 4.5 game lead over the Cubs at 52-42. And the Dodgers continue to run away in the NL West, with Arizona holding a 1-game wild card. Arizona and Colorado are still your 2 wild cards at this point. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in today. Together we're giant. Keep it real. Keep it orange. Keep it real orange. And have a good afternoon. See you tomorrow.